So regarding this award, I need to give credit where credit is due, okay? So really there's two pieces of the machine at work here. One is the operations of the ICL. And when you have people like Helen Davidoff, when you've got Manny DeSwanko, when you've got Steph Tringham, and you've got Hala Ahmed running operations and recruiting, you're gonna win. Let's just call it for what it is. So kudos to you girls. You make things happen. You make us look good. And then there's the engine. You know, the engine. These are the team builders. These are the leaders that are constantly taking out interviews, growing, becoming owners. So kudos to you guys. That's Ryan, Errol, Ian, Mike, Brandon, Mark, Blake, Van Pham, Taylor, Camille, and the Burbank crew. This award is really a compilation of all your guys' hard work, so kudos to all you guys. So I'm just gonna try to close the night to try to answer a really simple question. I mean, it's been a fun day, I'd like to think. I mean, I know you've been sitting down for almost 15 hours today. But I wanna just try to answer a question: how do I find success in Sidcor? And I'm going to try to answer this question with three cute little personal stories from the old brain from the field, if that's okay. And really and I'm going to do a little bit of monologue on things that were going through my head at the time. And, you know, these voices in my head, something tells me that these might be voices in your head as well, too. So the first story I have for you was a field day back in '98. And it was a normal day going residential. Everything was good. I mean, my attitude was good. I didn't make any sales, loop one, but I got a great looking tracking sheet. Everything looks good. And I'm walking back to my car. I'm by myself. I'm not with anybody. I got to go ring a bell today is my goal. And my spidey senses are tingling as I'm walking back to my car. Just something doesn't feel right. I don't know what it is. I start panicking a little bit. I'm walking a little faster, and I see something shiny laying beside my car. And I'm getting anxiety. I'm walking closer. And sure enough, I see that the front left quarter panel of my car had been hit. My door had been hit. There's glass shattered. I can't believe my car got hit. I'm assuming somebody left a note or a message underneath the windshield wiper. I go under the windshield wiper and there's no note. And I've just completely lost my mind I can't believe somebody hit my car and run. And so I get in the car and I start driving around looking for the culprit, okay? So, and I'm going fast. Look, I'm gonna find this guy, I'm thinking. And then it hits me, hopefully within 30 seconds, that Jamie, the law of averages are just not in your favor. You live in a big city of LA, you're not gonna find this guy. And so at that moment, I made the executive decision that I cannot go in the field today. I'm too dangerous to allow this animal loose in any neighborhood. I'm dangerous to customers, I'm dangerous to my career. I'm gonna go to In-N-Out Burger. I'm gonna get myself a double, animal style, protein style, throw some peppers on that bad boy, no tomato, that's how I roll. And I'm gonna get some mall therapy. If you've never tried this, I'm just gonna go shopping, I'm just gonna maybe buy a tie, feel a little better about myself, but I mean, I'm sure the people at the office are going to understand that, yeah, man, that really sucked what happened to you. So I didn't think for 1 second I was gonna get in any trouble for that. I thought that's the right thing to do. So I go to In-N-Out, I eat my burger, everything's okay, there's a mall right beside, conveniently, there's a mall right beside the burger shop. And then it clicked that this is my moment. It just sort of clicked. Maybe it's because food hit the belly and now I can think straight or something, I don't know. But I just thought to myself, this is my moment. This is my chance to prove to me, not anybody else, my chance to prove to me that I'm not just a rep. I'm an owner. I mean, because, there's this whole probability thing, like who's really going to become an owner? But I thought to myself, you put 100 people in this situation, I mean, most of them are going to do something silly like what I'm doing, and that's In-N-Out / mall therapy. Man, I got to ring a bell today. And then I started thinking, I'm like, oh, man, I got to tell a story tonight. I got to come back, ring a bell, and say, guys, you're never going to believe what happened to me, and tell them this crazy story, how I lost my mind, car got hit, I got this whole dramatic story, And I got to be a high roller tomorrow. I mean, this is just a great opportunity for me to separate myself from the rest of the gang and put myself on the map and be an owner. I wanted it bad. Unfortunately, I wanted it too bad. There's commission breath on me as I was back in the field. I can start breathing sales coming out of my mouth. I had to just sort of stop and say, Jamie, listen, you need a great intro. You got to have fun. You need a killer presentation. You need to use the Jones effect. You got fear loss. You need assertive close. I just went through all the 5 and 8 and said, you know exactly what to do. Be pure right here, right now. And I'm telling you, for the rest of that day, I was in the zone. I was just so in the zone. I hit a bell. Yeah, thank you. I'm not saying this to... It was just one of those days I'll never forget. I was just in the zone. I was like so proud of myself. And it sort of hit me at the end of the day. I'm like, why am I not acting like this every day? I mean, I wanted it so bad today, and I gave it my best today. Why does it take your car to get hit to just prove something to yourself? And so lesson 1 was commit to high standards. Commit to a high standard. There's this whole saying of practice makes perfect. No, practice makes permanence. I wonder if we're creating permanent habits that are just slightly less than our best. But yet Sebastian come up 5 years ago, he was in the field. I mean, there's a high standard to get promoted within 5 years. I'm sure at this time next year, you guys like to come to the conference as an owner or at some next level. It's going to take a really high standard. It can't be a sometimes thing. Sometimes you're on, sometimes you're off. Can you perform at your maximum capacity consistently daily? So lesson 1, commit to a high standard. My second field story, unfortunately, I'm not quite the hero in this story. So this is a little slightly embarrassing, but let's just go with it. I'm sure you guys can somewhat relate to this, but this was just one of those days in the field that I couldn't do it anymore. I just got to the point I couldn't do it. And I started playing Pluto the philosopher. I'm this philosopher, do I really even want to be an owner? Is money even that important? I mean, I'm just playing these games on myself, and I hate the field. I hate the humility. I hate these losers looking at me like I'm a loser, kind of thing. And it's just driving me crazy. And I made a decision. I'm out. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I quit. I'm out. Vanilla Mamba out. Drop the mic. Done. So I go to my car. I close the door. I didn't turn it on yet. I'm rehearsing in my mind because I kind of, in a lame sort of way, tried quitting before, but I wasn't that serious about it. I'm freaking serious now, So I got to rehearse in my mind. Okay, the conversation with the owner is going to be a little awkward. So what's he going to say? Okay, Jamie, quitters never win, winners never quit. He's going to give me that kind of razzmatazz, okay? And I believe in you, Jamie. Yeah, I know, I just don't believe in myself. So I'm like, okay, so it's going to be about 10 minutes of an awkward conversation, but I played it out in my mind, and I'm like, okay, I'm cool. I'm ready for this conversation. Okay, listen, so before you start the engine, what are you going to do after your conversation with the owner? Well, you're going to get a job. So can I use this wonderful experience that I've had to figure out what I should really do for my next gig? I'm thinking to myself, okay, so your next gig, let's just make damn sure I don't work some crazy long hours like this anymore. Because if there's anything really negging me out, it's these long hours and just my lack of social life just sucks. So my next gig, I want something that's going to be 40, 45 hours roughly. So, okay, so make sure you just cross off all the things that require like a 70-hour commitment because I'm not into that. Oh yeah, and this commission thing totally sucks. This whole you get paid one day this and you get paid this and that. I mean, I like those big hits, but my bills are consistent and I need consistent pay. So Jamie, make sure your next gig, you look for something hourly, you look for something salary. Okay, I got that. Oh, and Jamie, if you've learned anything, you don't want to do sales for crying out loud. I mean, this whole rejection, no. Okay, that's for the birds. So I need to find something that's mentally a hell of a lot easier than this. Okay, so just a quick little recap. I need I need short hours, 40, 44, 45 hours. I need hourly pay, and I need to find something easy. Holy shit, I'm going to be poor. I'm going to be poor. I've seen how this movie plays out. I've knocked on these doors. This is how the poor people become poor. No? That's the recipe. There's a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There's also a book just called Poor Dad. 40 hours, hourly, easy. Poor. Hey, listen, I've knocked on a few of these successful people's doors too. How does that movie play out? And a lot of these guys were entrepreneurs. They ran stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm ready to give up on the entrepreneurial game yet. It's my first crack at the code at an entrepreneurial game. And I'm thinking, this has to be one of the easiest entrepreneurial games out there. They're not asking me for any money. I don't have to go raising money. I don't have to go solicit my dad's friends to try to get their money and try a business and fail at it. I don't need any money. They've got a support system, and they've got examples of people that have been there, done that. And at every turn, there's a teacher and a mentor. Compared to a restaurateur, this has to be an easy gig. I don't know if I'm ready to give up on the entrepreneurial spirit yet. And so I'd love to tell you that at that moment, I made an executive decision to, kick open the car door and, open up my Superman and, I am ready to now rip up my territory and knock on the doors and, hello, ma'am, I'm amazing, and I have something amazing to sell you. And wow, he is amazing. Instead, I sheepishly closed the car door and I dragged my sorry ass back to the field. And I'm knocking on doors. Hello, ma'am, how you doing? No, not interested? Go figure. Nobody else in this territory is interested either. Have yourself a nice day. Hello, sir, how you doing? Yes, screw you too, sir. I appreciate that. Knock on the door, hello. And listen, I had a brutal day. And so the lesson isn't what I did. The lesson is what I didn't do. I didn't quit. I didn't quit. I didn't give up. You guys have heard this before. Pain is temporary, quitting is permanent. No one ever quit their way to the top of anything. Think about that. Oh, I quit my way to the top. Nobody quit their way to the top of anything. Right, I'm coaching my son in soccer. I'm all excited. My whole life, I've been working my ass off so I could really be a dad. I mean, there's nothing that motivates me more than being a dad. My kid's finally of age to get into sports. He wants to play soccer. I'm like, okay, let's get the worst one out of the way first. We'll play the rest of them after, no big deal. And sorry, Ken, sorry, Ryan. And so and I'm the assistant coach, and second game into it, my son gets a ball right in the face. And he goes running off to the sideline crying, and I can be sympathetic sometimes. And so he comes running off, and I'm cuddling the little guy. I mean, I feel bad. I mean, I saw it was a good kick. You got a kick right in the face. And he's crying. I'm sitting there, and I'm patient. It's 5-on-4 happening right now. I'm like, I got this, Dads. Don't worry, Dads. He'll be back. And he's crying. He's like, Dad, I want to do this. I know it hurts. I know getting kicked in the face hurts. And I know for you guys getting kicked in the face hurts. I know it hurts getting kicked in the face. And he says, Dad, I want to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm like, quit? I'm like, Dane, do you know our ancestry? I said, listen, we have German roots. Sprechen Sie Deutsch. We're German here, little Daner. And Hepp is German for we don't quit. Looking at me. I'm like, Dane, listen, I'm not turning my back on your team. You suckered me into being the coach for the year, and I'm not quitting on your team. And I'm not letting you quit on your team. So if at the end of the season you decide soccer's not for you, and again, I won't blame you. Wait till I introduce you to football, baseball, hockey. But that's the time. It's not right now. We don't quit. So I know it sucks. You get back out there. I just wonder how different would things be in your world? How things would be different? How different would things be in my world if we adopted a never quit mentality? So lesson 2, you stay in the game, you persevere. You persevere. You don't let emotions or pain bring you down. And lastly, I want to talk about my first conference, okay? So my first conference, I came to party, okay? The whole, they were talking about what's going to happen at work. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to go party, man. It was in New York. I'd never been to New York, and I'm like, this is going to be awesome. And so my brain was on party mode, and you go to a conference like this, you see 2,000 people, and everybody's looking good. I mean, the guys here look good, the girls look good, and you guys look like you're ready to party, right? So that's where my brain was at. However, something happened at the conference. I got pumped. I wasn't planning on getting pumped. Wasn't the goal, but I got pumped. I got a taste of the opportunity. I wanted a good life. I saw these young people getting on stage that had something that I wanted. They had the freedom of time and they had the freedom of money, and they were young. These weren't guys that, I've been working at this thing for 60 years and I make $100,000 a year. Nobody got up and gave that speech. There were young guys in their 20s getting up that were making millions. There were guys in their 30s making millions. I'm like, what the hell have I got myself into? This is cool. I want this, but I don't know if I can do this. I mean, a guy like Ed would intimidate me because I'm not that polished. I couldn't sing in front of 2,000 people. I don't know if I could do this. So I spent my evening that night networking, getting in front of the people that I saw on stage. And again, you've been seeing the same people get up here all the time. Learn about their lives. I mean, if my kids were in this business, I would be so proud of them. I wouldn't even necessarily ask what you do, what you get paid, just the caliber of people. And again, I can say this because I know these people. I can't tell you how excited I was this morning to see Jim Majeski, to see Jim again. He's like a dad/big brother to a lot of us here. He's a great man, married to a great wife, big into philanthropy, loves us, and we love him. The fellow consultants that get up on stage here, I mean, these are all character-driven people. I mean, think about it. They've been on the verge of wanting to quit just like me a million times, and they don't. And they don't because they love their people too damn much. Like, they're great people. I trust all the consultants with anything and everything. I'd make any of them my planners of my estate. I mean, they're trustworthy people. They're hardworking people. They're family-driven people. They're philanthropic. Ask them tonight to see pictures of their homes and stuff like that. They're living large. Ask Sessions to see a nice little picture of his 6,000 square foot home in Phoenix. But spending time with these guys gave me confidence. At that conference, when I got to know these guys after, it built my confidence. And you want to know why? Because they were, and they still are today, pathetically average. I was blown away how average they were. And average they are. I mean, again, a guy like Osborne. I tell Osborne this morning, I'm like, hey, by the way, the questions that I gave you, those aren't the questions I'm going to ask you. He's ready to go throw up, you know? Hang around Brandy tonight. You get you verse guys going to do your little pate, you know, as you get her, you know, talking, whatever else, she starts laughing. She's going to snort when she laughs. She snorts. These are very average people. Here's my point. Here's lesson 3. You can do this. You can do this. It's not out of your reach, and it's not even as far as you probably think it is to get there. You need to remove can't, and you need to remove should. Our problem is our vocabulary. I should come in a little earlier. I should work a little harder. I should have a better attitude. I should not play the role of a victim. Next thing you know, all you do is you start shoulding all over the place. Like that? Turn your shoulds into wills. Tony Robbins says, and he's all over Facebook now. I like that he's making kind of a second shot here. He's all over Facebook. You guys see him, so do I. He says the 2 strongest words in the English language are I will. I will conquer the field. I will win this game. I will become an owner. I will become a consultant. I will. Commit to high standards, persevere, Tell yourself you can. Tell yourself you will. Be safe tonight. Let's get to know each other tonight, and let's have some fun. Have a great evening, you guys.